Hey everybody, good morning. I hope you're doing well. It's Thursday, which is just amazing news. So one of the interesting things about my job, working with students, with adolescents, is that I'll so often see something with them and it's really obvious. Like, it's so obvious what they're doing wrong, or what incorrect patterns of thinking are giving them problems in their lives. So it's like just glaringly obvious. And then I will have inevitably an experience in my own life where either someone else, an adult, or myself suddenly does the same thing that I've seen the adolescents do. But it's, in more adult terms. So for example, one of the classic things that I spend my life saying, and probably every teacher in the world does, is, okay, the fact that she started it or he started it doesn't mean you were justified in your response. Your response was out of line and inappropriate. But there's just this idea that, well, if someone does something to me, I can do whatever I want to back. So it's kind of funny, I'll chuckle at that sometimes because it's just so blatantly obvious when I'm dealing with a student that they're not thinking clearly, and what they're saying is just it's kind of ridiculous, right? Like, well, I can do pretty much whatever I want because I'm mad, is what it boils down to, essentially. It's easy to see that in other people. Certainly easy to see that with young adolescents, because their reactions are very extreme sometimes. However, the number of times I have had to address that with a student, and then I go home and realize, oh, okay, well, I've been doing that too. I've been letting someone else's actions define my response instead of my convictions and beliefs and personal standards defining my response. So this is easy to see in other people. It's really easy to see. It's easy to see other people who are like full of, grievances or bitterness, who always blame everything around them for stuff that doesn't go right. Like, we see that very easily in others. But what I've learned over the years is that I don't think many of us are immune from that, actually. I think that most of us are just as open to doing those kinds of things as we see in others. So, I don't do that. I don't think anyone can do this perfectly, for sure. But I've just learned that freedom and happiness, self-actualization, autonomy, these are really good things that bring happiness. But these all come from taking responsibility for our lives and our actions and our feelings. And even if what we're feeling is a response to something that someone else has done or another situation, that when we put responsibility on others for how we feel, it just doesn't lead us to happiness, to fulfillment, to any sort of meaningful life. In fact, it does the opposite. And I think it's one of the ways that we can most quickly rob ourselves of the good stuff in our lives already. So anyway, just a little reminder there for all of us, something I have to learn frequently, relearn. But happiness and freedom come from taking responsibility for our actions. Unhappiness, bitter unhappiness, constant unhappiness, and a lack of feeling in charge of our lives, these things all come from responding and reacting to other people, even if what they do is genuinely annoying, frustrating, rotten, mean, unideal, whatever. So anyway, it can be true that someone's treating you badly, and it can still be true that letting them define your response will not make things better. So anyway, I'm sending you lots of love today. Good luck getting through the last 2 days of the week. And until next time, as always, you matter, and I love you. Sincerely, your Internet Grandpa.